This video is made for adult collectors because we're going to be traveling the world today. Oh boy, the mess. Oh boy, the mess. Oh boy, the mess. We'll talk about that one later maybe, but oh boy, the mess. So I like Transformers, as you can see by most of my long form content being about Transformers, but I buy a lot of other things too, and I've been going over that in like YouTube shorts, but there are some that I think more people should know more about. There are plenty of different countries who make so many other varieties of transforming robot toys, and I just want to talk about some of my favorites. Some of these I've already talked about in full length, i.e. this guy, but that he's here because Blast Train hasn't arrived yet. But here we have some examples of Japanese toys, Gundam and Toku, Korean toys with metal card bots, Chinese toys with 5-2 Toys Beast Box, and Danish toys with Lego. And boy, they are very different from Transformers, but in a good way. Now, I don't claim to be an expert on the media that these attach to, because I haven't watched any of it other than Ninjago. I've seen that like 3 times over. But I'm also not going to claim to be an expert on the culture and the other products that these countries produce. These are just the examples that I own from these respective countries. I know there are more toys that like China and South Korea and Japan, they all make more stuff, but like this is all that I have of those countries. But I guess we'll start with the furthest country from me and the thing everybody probably wants to see, the Gundams. So here we have 2 examples of Gundams that transform, that don't have to parts form so much, because a lot of them do have to parts form, especially the high grades. Well, I mean, the Psycho Gundam has to parts form slightly, but that is also because it is a high grade. But here we have the high-grade Psycho Gundam Mark II and the Double Zeta Verka. And both of these are neat. The Psycho Gundam looks so cool. I'd love to get like a high grade of the G-Quux version because that looked so neat, but I don't know how that seems a bit far off. This is a model kit though, so you have to build the entire robot, and it's huge, coming in at like taller than most commanders. I love the yellow color separation when the bits of red, it's all like separate parts, which is awesome, and that head is super intimidating. Then there is the Double Zeta, this is the Verka specifically, and it's really cool looking with the swooping angles and the amazing color separation, again being all pieces. I don't put any of the decals on because honestly I kind of like this plain sort of look, so I'm going to keep it that way. He's big but a bit flimsy. The build was fine, but the way it handles feels a lot more delicate than the Psycho, which is funny because this is a full inner frame, but this is more to the fact that it transforms and it's more intricate in its transformation, that it becomes a little bit flimsy and it's more involved than the Psycho. So the big pile on the floor, I'm selling all of this because I need to make space for all the new stuff that's coming out next year, and you know, all of the stuff I don't really mess with that much anymore, so I will be selling it. But I'm going to be selling it to my local shop, Comic Alley. So if you want anything, you're going to have to go down there. This is not sponsored, by the way. I'm just doing this because I feel like it. But if you want anything, you can go down there and pick it up, or you can send them a message on Instagram and they'll ship things worldwide. Though I know shipping to some countries right now is a little bit of a hassle because of other things that are happening around the world. But yeah, all of this will be there if you want to buy it there, because I'm just going to give it to them and they can have it. Okay. This isn't really fun to do. So these are model kits, you build them. And because you, the consumer, has to build them, not a trained professional at a factory, the plastics are different, the tolerances are different, the joints and like everything, the way that this is constructed is going to be different from something like this. So I know this isn't a great example because it's tiny, but it kind of gets my point across. The plastic on this is all, it's got a loose knee, is all like ABS and POM and a little bit of PVC in some spots to like strengthen things. But the plastic, the part walls are thick, there's pins, there's screws, there's all this stuff to keep everything stable and in place. These don't have that luxury because we as a consumer have to put them together. So there are hardly any, usually there aren't any screws. There's no pins whatsoever. The plastic is a lot thinner and weaker because we have to clip it off of runners and stuff like that. So that means that transforming these is not fun. There are some Gundams that are really fun, but like these 2 specifically, I don't enjoy. So we'll start with the Psycho Gundam. Put this over here without its waist falling off again. The Psycho Gundam basically turns into a man sitting in a chair. So we'll take the shield off and then remove this piece, take this apart, and we're going to put these off to the side for now. Then I'm not going to walk through the entire transformation because this video is going to be long enough as it is. We're going to open the chest, bring that out, bring this up just for now. We're going to open the back section, unfold that and bring that out, and there it is. The head folds away, this will come over the top and just sort of click into place, and the shoulder pads will come to hold everything into place. You just bring that in at the hip. Doesn't make the nicest noises. Ooh, then you want to take the lower leg, bring it out, bring this section down, rotate it up like this while bringing this piece back and it will slide into the back section of the knee and then clip in the front here as well. And that's, oh, and it didn't clip. There, clip, you fool. Now it's clipped into place. So once you have both the legs folded up, I wish they pegged together. We now have to focus on the hip skirts. So you want to bring the hip skirts here. They're on double hinges. They will fold down and they will peg in. Well, first you got to make sure it's folded in this orientation. Then you peg it into the hip, and fold that panel down. Then once you have that, you want to fold the elbow. The elbow's already folded out. Fold the little elbow dingle dangles out. Then you want to take the hands, not pull them off. You want to pull the whole forearm piece forward. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. Oh, and just pull it all off. That's a thing you can do. There we go. We got it out. And you fold that in. Oh, for fun. Once you have both arm pieces ever so precariously taken out, you want to then shove the hands underneath here. Shoulder will go in. Why is the shoulder not going in now? And then to hold it all together, we bring these in. And there you have the Psycho Gundam Mark II as a giant flying chair. Oh no, okay. This one likes to parts form, but it's not supposed to. It's not supposed to parts form, but it just falls apart. You have to make sure you have these hands in because it has transforming specific hands that can't hold anything. These are actually smaller than the regular hands. So you want to unpeg the backpack, oops, and fold it down. And then right here, there's a little latch. And you want to fold that latch into place. And that will hold the whole thing straight, which I think is really cool. So you bring this out, then you want to pull this assembly down and then push this assembly in. Bring this foot out, fold the foot forward, everything's falling. Rotate this while sliding it through, and it will sort of just slot into place like that. And then we're going to rotate the thigh 180 degrees, and there you have the back of the jet, with at least one of the legs done. Then you fold these sections out on either side. Okay, then I'm just gonna fold it. Oh, they'll fall off. Then you want to take the gun that I totally forgot to put in its hand the entire time and fold this section down, fold the rangefinder in, fold the handle in, open this piece, and this will slot into here. It'll slot underneath, covering the head, and then this should connect to it. But basically, I've done something wrong. This will not stay. But basically, that's the big jet. That's a man sitting down. Honestly, the alt mode of this is kind of and the process of getting here isn't the most fun either. But again, it's a model, so it's gonna feel a tad flimsy transforming it. It looks neat and exactly what I would expect for this because it's the Psycho Gundam. He turns into the Lincoln Memorial, but it needs more tabs and more secure sections. The joint tolerances also don't help because they are so tight. Putting them into precise orientations is a tad on the harder side. It is big though. And then the double Zeta, yeah, I know some Gundam fans might not like me saying that I'm not the biggest fan of this kit, and that is completely fine. I just expected it to be a little bit sturdier. There is a lot that doesn't want to hold. Again, it needs more tabs. I find that the split into 3 version holds together a lot better. I've just lost the little tiny jet that you have to like use for the bigger vehicle thing. I do want the metal Zeta, like the regular Zeta, because that looks so sick, and it's like not a model kit, so you just like transform it and it should be fine, but I'm not paying $500 or whatever it's asking for that thing. That's too expensive for me. But on to, well, more Japan with Tokusatsu. This is way more my speed. I have quite a few Toku things, but I'm gonna go over my 2 favorite sets, Kyoryuger and Tokyuger, or Kyoryujin or whatever. I always get that confused. I like dinosaurs, so this is cool. I got the original American one and the new full action one. The original I barely touch, not because it's bad, but because it's covered in like someone else's battery acid that I can't really get cleaned off properly without like fully washing the parts, and I just haven't done that yet. But the full action one is so good, like so good. It's like Missing Link Megazord. It takes this non-articulated version and makes it hyper-articulated with more paint because this is the one from Japan, and the plastic on both actually feels really great, but the full action one feels a little bit nicer. But it's like so posable. I know I skipped the articulation segment of the Gundams because I didn't want to make this video enormously long, but I need to show you how this thing works. Which one's the Japanese one? Pick on the screen. No, I'm kidding. It's the one with all the paint. So the posing on the old one was really like basic, right? All you could do is this, and you could do like that, and that's pretty much all you can do with this figure. This one though, like I said, just like Missing Link, and it's kind of sad that they've only done this. I would love for them to do more of the giant robots from any of the series, but they've only really done these. So to start with, the head ball joint, very nice wiggle waggle. You can look up, down, and do a full 360 degrees. The only problem I have with this is this only connects at the back here at the top. So if you push from down here, it comes off all the time when you want to like pose it. This can move up and down, but for the sake of my sanity, I'm removing it. So the shoulders, they can do a full 360. They can go out that far. You also have a dedicated butterfly joint that swings that far forward. So you have that. You do have bicep rotation, single jointed elbow that bends 90 degrees on both arms. Nothing at the wrists. It does have a waist joint. These can move forward. The hips can go forward that far. They can go back that far. They can do a full splits. You have thigh rotation. You have 90 degrees of bend at the knee. And then if you want to, you can move that to give it a little bit more of a knee bend. And then you have gloriously ball jointed ankles. So he is very, very articulated. I absolutely adore this. I just wish this was better, but I absolutely adore messing with this. And then the dinosaur head can sort of do whatever it wants here. See, now this is an iconic design and this older toy is pretty fun, but this new full action one, even the transformation feels more refined. All right, let's turn them into dinosaurs. So we'll start with the old one. Get the new one out of here. So pretty simple. Rip the arms off. This one, well, this tail does extend, but we'll close it up, close the mouth up. Then you pull the legs down. There you have the Triceratops. And then pull this up, fold that in, close up the mouth, plug that into the top. Then the legs transform the exact same way. And that's your Stegosaurus. Hooray. Now the T-Rex. Yes, I've left the price tag on. I think it's funny. I'm not taking it off. You can fold that in. And then you take the helmet off, fold the head in. And then we're going to rotate the waist 180 or 90 degrees, not 180 degrees. Bring the legs here down, take the helmet, and the helmet very cleverly stores inside the legs, like that. We're just gonna clip that together, bring it up, and then bring the feet forward, and then slide the tail in, and the tail will peg into the back of the legs. And there you have the dinosaur. He's got a battery in his mouth. There you have the T-Rex. He's a little wobbly. Now the new one does things a tiny bit differently. So we'll take the arms off. A little bit harder to do here because it's actually a joint. Oh, and then you want to take this tail piece, put this here. That'll close the mouth. But you don't have to fold the legs out. The legs are already folded out because these are tiny. Here, fold this up, then you fold this forward and collapse the tail, and there you have that as well. Now the T-Rex here, a little bit different. So the head, you just kind of leave it there. And then this nubbin, you just kind of leave there as well. Tail, we're going to take it off, close it up, fold that in, and then we're going to rotate the waist. Then you want to bring these up like that, press these buttons and collapse this into place. That exposes these little joints for other combining things this can do with other toys. Once you get that done, you take this entire tail assembly and you slide it in upside down and you slide it into here. Again, this nubbin just kind of hangs there, but there you have the T-Rex. Oh my lord, these look so nice. I never grew up on Power Rangers or Tokusatsu, like watching the shows, but I've always had a soft spot for the designs, and having a fully articulated one like this is very nice. Is this what it feels like to be a G1 kid getting a Missing Link toy? I require the damn Spinosaurus though. Good lord, I need that. Now we make it onto the other Toku thing I like the most, the train one. This thing is so cool. I went all in and bought most of the entire line for like $67 Canadian, which is nasty. That is so cheap. I got the regular Tokuo, who looks really unique because he's made of trains, but not in the way I'm used to when it comes to combiners, having the train sit in layers rather than as specific limbs. But it can't do anything other than move its arm or get an erection, so you can take this idiot and smash them together to make this awesome monstrosity of a thing, which is cool and all, but then you bring in the big chunkster, and oh my god, I have no more space. Not to mention all of these little trains I got, and the belt, and this sealed box train that I will not be opening. Then you can take these base guys and make them into trains themselves and link them all up, and then, like, if you're a train person, this is like your dream. There's so much back and forth with all these toys. Okay, so we'll get the big guy deconstructed first because I want him off the table. Put that on my foot by accident, that hurt. This thing, the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to, you see this gold button right down here? We're gonna press it and fold the whole thing down. And then bring the arms down. And this is sort of like a train yard platform type thing. It's got ramps here and, you know, guns you can fold around. But we're gonna take these off. So we're gonna slide those off. Then we're gonna unlatch these and slide them off, because the latch here, if you watch this, it sort of holds them in place. And we're gonna take these off. This one opens. Oh, stoplight. Take the arm ones off. Just put them there. Take this, unlatch it, take these 3 out. We're gonna keep this one. So now we're going to fold this in half. So you're gonna bring that up, and this switch right here, you're gonna pull it down, and this will allow you to bring this up. You wanna fold these in, and then bring that all the way till it's down like that. And you bring this up, rotate it 180 degrees, slap it in, and this just sort of sits up there. And that is the big giant chunky train. And now we're gonna deconstruct this, you can't see him, this idiot. So take these off, take off that, rotate, fold that in, and those are 2 trains there. They do split, so you have that. Then we're gonna take these, bring them off, fold that up and up, fold these down, rotate them, bring them up. I also forgot to fold these out in the robot mode, but they fold out. So we have that. Also, shipping container has a spot in it. Love that. This brick, we're gonna bring that out, fold these around. Now you can take this and peg it into there, and you have a massive train. Then you wanna take this, detach it, fold these up, bring that down, train. Attach, fold those 2 clips up, bring that down, train with a ramp. So that's cool. Then these, you press this button, slide this up, bring this down, rotate it, fold this. Oh, right, you want to pull this lever, fold that down, train. It's the same with the blue one. Train. And then finally, oh, that was supposed to be a lot more smooth than that. I was going to just unfold it because it just unfolds like that. And then you take this piece and you plonk it onto here and train. My desk is covered in trains. That's a lot of trains. Great, now I have to clean all this up. But then that brings us on to a country closer. Korea, specifically South Korea. Korea has given us multiple different toy lines that are robots that turn into vehicles, but the one that's grabbed me and a lot of other people's attention the most seems to be Metal Cardbot. I did a full video that garnered more views than I was expecting, so thank you very much for watching that. That actually made my day when that video came out. This has me by the balls. I really like this toy line. I need to get the pirate ship, the Osprey, and the Centaur. I have Blast Train on the way, but Gigantrex is here, and he's been a good start. It has its issues, but I still really enjoy this large beast, and the transformation is super satisfying. You know, I've filled up my memory card, and I just had to sit there for about 20 minutes deleting things manually off my camera because I couldn't be bothered to go downstairs to do it on my computer, even though it would have been faster. Anyways, Metal Cardbot guy. I've done a full video on this, so I'm not gonna like walk through the transformation, but I'm just gonna talk about how satisfying this is. To get, first of all, to get this giant hunk of heavy arm thing off, and it just becomes a cube or a rectangle, sorry, that goes nowhere. And then this thing, it does part, the parts forms as you saw there. Oh, it's too far away, there's a light in my way. I got it. So I guess we'll just start with taking the arms off and then connecting them together and just sort of leaving them. Then this part, we're gonna open his peepee and slide this forward. Just get that out. I really like how this truck works because you just sort of like fold this up and compress it all, and then whoop, the head's gone. And now you have a truck. That's really cool. And this is a really like nice and meaty truck. And then this piece, right? You bring this all around and you peg it together. I still don't know what these are for. And then it very satisfyingly eats, this is not going well. It very satisfyingly eats the arms. So once you snap all that into place, you then bring this up and open the doors, right? And then boom, and it just very, very pleasantly snaps over. And that's the trailer. Plug it into the truck, and there's your truck. That's a nice and solid truck with loads of cool details, and the plastic is mostly robust. There are a couple areas that feel and look a bit like that greasy knockoff plastic, but it's not horrible. But again, I've been over this in a full-length video, so our next stop on this journey is China. I'm mainly gonna focus on these two when it comes to 5.2 toys, as it's the only ones that I actually remember how they work. But this is the Owl Cube, and this is the one my friends have dubbed Weed Panda, because it's a panda with a leaf on it. But these are cubes, pretty good cubes. Actually, the owl is like a perfect cube. And they come in these clear carrying cases, which I use to hold my blast effects and sort them by color and stuff. They're really helpful. But these usually transform into animals, but nowadays they've made so many different ones that turn into vehicles, mechs, and alien. But let's make these animals. So we'll do Weed Panda first because he's the easiest. So we're going to take this, open this up, and then whoop, there goes the head. We're going to separate that, and you get a little baby panda who becomes the pilot. His baby panda sits in there, and you close this section back up. We're going to remove the guns from the stomach, fold this down, and then we're going to unlock the crotch and push this together. And then you gotta open this up and then slide this section down. Then you can close that up fully, and now we don't have to look in there again. And that's your panda. Hooray. The owl is a bit more complicated than that because it is a perfect cube. Like, I think this, of all the 5.2 toys, anything I've got, this is my favorite, even though it has a couple of issues. So we're going to open this. Then we're going to get the wings and just bring them out on either side. Open this up, rotate that 180 degrees, and it'll just sit like that. Then we're going to take the legs, bring them down on those horrible sounding joints. I don't like that. And then we're going to take this and peg that together. Then you want to take this section here. Well, before you peg it in, you want to rotate this 180 degrees around so the chest plate can fold into there. Then you fold this down because otherwise there's no room. So once you have that, we're going to fold the head forward. And when you fold the head forward, watch the cheeks. They flare out. I think that's so cool. But you have that, and then you have like a little battle mask if you want that. Now we're gonna get to the wings and just stretch the wing as far as it will go. And there is your owl. I really like that. Weed Panda is a panda. It actually looks kind of cute. And I love how it can store the baby panda inside like a mech driver. But the owl, squeaky joints aside, this looks fantastic. I love how the face fills out and how large the wings are. Like, it goes from a compact cube into a large winged owl thing, and it's really nice. Now we move away from Asia and head all the way over to Europe with Denmark. Denmark gave us, honestly, the best toy ever made, being Lego. And you can make literally anything out of it. The designers spit out transforming things from time to time, from vehicles that can convert into other vehicles to actually licensed Transformers products. But to me, the best recent example of a transforming Lego set is this, Lloyd's transforming mech from Ninjago Dragons Rising. I had to do that sentence 4 times, by the way, because I struggled so much with saying that. The jet itself looks fantastic with the different shades of green and the yellow. My favorite looking part of the set is actually the bits on the front here. I think this looks so cool. Yes, it's a sticker, but the colors match well enough that I think that looks great. The back is just legs, and there is a bit of undercarriage with his arms hanging out, but it still looks neat. And yeah, as the name suggests, this transforms. So let's see the robot mode. Okay, transformation time. Now, I've done a short on this before, and that short did very well, so thank you very much for that. I want to talk you through how simple yet effective this is, and Weed Panda's rattling on the other side of the desk, so he's going to have to lie down. So to start with, what we're going to do is remove the wings, well, the wing tips, because these are the swords for robot mode. You don't have to remove them. I'm just going to, because I want to put them in his hands. So to start with, after that, we're going to bring the legs down, or the feet down, sorry. Flip it underneath, and that's already folded, but fold that down. Unpeg the legs, bring them out by 1 click, and then bring them forward by 1 click, stand them up, and then rotate the boosters down like that so that it's got rockets in its feet. Then we're gonna come back here and split this section, bring it out by 1 click, and then just rotate the hands forward, fold the wings down, then bring this section all the way down. Now we can bring this out at least 1 more click. Then rotate the head, and then you take the swords and you put them in his hands. And unlike a lot of other Lego Transformers or Lego transforming things, this doesn't feel like anything's going to fall off. Everything feels nice and solid and sturdy on this thing. It's a little rattly, but like it doesn't feel like anything's gonna like launch off when I try to transform it, like Optimus Prime's entire torso. That's always fun. But yeah, I really like doing that back and forth. It's so smooth to go from jet to robot, and this looks great. With the wings looking like a pseudo cape on the back of the arms and the lack of any other sort of kibble hanging off. I love the swords coming from the wings and the top guns of the jet turning around to become the head of the mech. And Lloyd can sit comfortably in the cockpit the entire time. There's no need to remove him, and the cockpit just kind of works. You do just have to forget about dynamic posing on this though, because it is a Lego mech and they aren't really known for that. But that then brings us back here to North America with Transformers. Even though the brand itself is American, the toys are co-developed by both America and Japan, but I am glad for this variety out there. It is neat to see all these different ways different regions of the world attack the transforming robot concept. But what's your favorite transforming toy that isn't a transformer? Third party does not count, but let me know in the comments below because I am curious. But that has been my look at all these different transforming toys. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.